It is story time. So if you didn't know, I do this YouTube channel thing alongside my day job, where I work as a security researcher at Huntress. We all work remotely and we use Slack to communicate, and the other day I got a seemingly random DM from a coworker of mine in the SOC, or the Security Operations Center. He said, off the top of your head, do you recall where to find unsaved notepad notes on disk? I recall a while ago you were able to pull it from somewhere, I just don't remember where exactly. And I thought, oh, yeah, like I have a YouTube video on this. I grabbed the link and I tried to find that timestamp in the video where it has the full path on the Windows file system. So I sent that along, and sorry, this story's gonna be told via screenshots. He said, look, cool, thank you, I knew there was a video on it, appreciate you. And then he comes back with this screenshot, which is an unsaved buffer in Notepad, which means the user just had Notepad up on their computer, the program was open, and they were writing in and typing, "We got disconnected. Wait, I'll call you back," with, I'm assuming, a different number, and then this unfinished sentence, which I'm assuming is going to say, "Do not talk to anyone else." And this isn't something that someone would usually type into their Notepad window. This looks more like someone, the user, the end user and victim, is currently on the phone with a scammer, or was, and their call got disconnected, but the scammer is typing on their computer as they have control over it, "I'll call you back with a different number. Do not talk to anyone because it will ruin their scam." So I respond back in our DMs, that's a scam phone call. And at this point, my teammate brings us to the larger channel, and he pings and tags the whole Security Operations Center support team. Hey, can we get a phone call to this individual right now, as soon as possible? The user on this host, that computer, their machine, is currently in the process of actively being scammed. We can see the notepad as the scammer is trying to talk to them through their computer. Our phone call got disconnected. I'll call you back. Don't talk to anyone else. And then he says, I'm getting an incident report out the door right now to help notify the partner as fast as possible. And this is the incident report. I've got it here to show you. This is what the Security Operations Center sent out. First line here, the Huntress agent has been tasked to isolate the host from the rest of the network in order to prevent the incident from spreading to other hosts. If you aren't familiar, this is host isolation. This is taking one computer and quarantining it away from its friends so that it doesn't infect anything else. What that really means is that we are restricting all network communication other than our capability to interact and talk with that computer. Nothing else can. Obviously, I will be redacting a lot of the private and sensitive information, like the host name, the organization, etc. You can see some of the other security products installed, the Sentinel agent from Sentinel-1, and then we have a critical severity report, with the summary being, look, Huntress detected the following: a rogue Screen Connect install, ConnectWise Screen Connect, one of those remote control applications. Huntress has been tracking a number of malicious threat actors, convincing users via email to run malicious Screen Connect or ConnectWise control installers that give the threat actor remote access to the host. This Screen Connect agent is configured to communicate with the following host, which does not appear to be the standard management site used by this organization. And they have the IP address here, 37.221.64.76. Evidence suggests that the user, redacted, likely fell for a fake tech support scam. The user was seen running Quick Assist, another thing we have a video on the channel, giving access to a remote user who then deployed a malicious Screen Connect instance on this host, downloaded from the domain jsrcare.help. Evidence from the user's notepad.exe tab shows that the user is getting actively scammed. Remediation instructions are what you would expect. Stop the service for Screen Connect, remove the application, and try to help carve out and make sure none of those footholds or persistent footholds are present. And being an endpoint detection and response platform, of course, we can see the processes that have been invoked, when and where, and what we should stop. So this is an interesting circumstance, right? It's scammers, scamming, and scam bait community content, the stuff that we tried to play with in that dimension, and our usual traditional like endpoint security, EDR, InfoSec, cybersecurity world, and these worlds colliding to see a scam from the perspective of a security operations center. But let's get back to the internal conversation, because the SOC analyst had just tried to sound the alarm and ask, hey, can anyone on the support team, can anyone get on the phone with this individual as soon as possible? We got another team member chiming in, he's on it. Analyst responds, thank you. Knowing how these scammers work, they'll probably try anything they can just to get back on the phone with them. They still have access to the victim's computer via Screen Connect, but for whatever reason, the call got dropped. Our support member chimes in though, I tried to call them twice, got voicemail both times, I'll send out an outreach and start a ticket. So while this is happening, just to add some background context, the SOC analyst says, look, we had a signal pop for a rogue and malicious Screen Connect instance. Just before the Screen Connect signal popped, we had a contextual signal for Quick Assist. If you didn't know, Quick Assist is the installed by default and built-in Microsoft solution for remote control, RMM being the acronym here for remote monitoring and management, and that's typically used in scammer situations. The analyst then noticed Notepad was opened, and he thought he'd use that little trick, forensic artifact, to be able to extract and uncover the unsaved buffer in those Notepad windows. With that, all the clues were coming together. This is an active scam. Oh, hang on just a second. Before we go too much further, please let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, AnyDesk. The best choice for remote desktop access. AnyDesk is fast, even on low bandwidth connections. With 99.98% uptime, it's reliable, backwards compatible with older operating systems, even with file transfer functionality and a clean user interface. It feels like you're sitting at the remote device. And the best part is, AnyDesk is completely free for personal use. There are custom-tailored business plans to help your whole team stay connected, with tons of use cases like video editing, remote 3D printing, and general collaboration across your organization. Connect your own devices for access anywhere, and even help support family members with troubleshooting and those ever-present tech support asks. Use AnyDesk to save time and effort with the easily customizable, secure, and smart choice for remote access. Whether it's in the cloud, on-premise, or even on mobile, AnyDesk is trusted by over 185,000 businesses worldwide. Get started with AnyDesk and connect your world with my link below in the video description, jh.live/AnyDesk. Huge thanks to AnyDesk for sponsoring this video. Now this starts to be really cool though, because internally other team members are chiming in, hey, these are other scammer tactics. Like you might be familiar with opening up like the command prompt and having the victim, the poor end user type netstat and say, oh, those are all the hackers connected to your computer, the bad stuff happening and why you need to either send them money or follow along with their instructions, all part of the scam. This is still unresolved though. We haven't been able to get a hold of them and notify or save the victim in this case. But then the analyst says, uh-oh, they released the host. And what that means is that they released them from host isolation. As I was telling you earlier, when a computer was quarantined and moved away from its friends, they said, nah, it's fine, put it back in play. Put that computer back in the field, the situation is okay. Now this worried us because that could very well just be, again, the end user and the victim totally brainwashed and convinced, I need to send this money, I need to get these gift cards, I need to drive to whatever Bitcoin ATM, right? Another team member chimed in though, and they say, hey, look, they actually approved the remediations though. All hope is not lost. I think they understand. With that said, though, the remediations and the automated remediations only solves the technical end of this equation, not the person end of it. Like, oh, we can clean up Quick Assist and Screen Connect, but if the scammer calls back and the person still picks up the phone and they're still talking with them, it doesn't help. They can just reinstall Screen Connect, Quick Assist, and control them via phone instructions. Now I'm still trying to follow along and I ask, hey, what is the host name of this computer? Because I'm cognizant this is usually the situation where a scam baiter or another scam bait member of the community could very well be interrupting an active scam and trying to save the victim on their own. I thought I would touch base with my scam bait friends, see if anyone else was tracking this, and I did want to reiterate for everyone internally, look, the writing in Notepad is a super common trick. When the scammer already has control of a victim PC, but the scam baiter gets in the middle of it, has them drop the call, and the scammer now has to type in Notepad via their computer as the only way to communicate, don't worry, I'll call you back, don't talk. But anyway, the case continues as we see execution of cmd.exe, the process where command prompt opened up on that victim computer. And I know this screenshot isn't really all that helpful to you. It is just like the snippet of the elastic row where you can see this happening via elk. But that matches the same scenario we were alluding to earlier, where the scammer, acting as a tech support individual, total fake scam, opens up command prompt, has them run netstat and see all these hackers affecting their computer. This is really cool though, because we see the teamwork kicking in. Team member asks, look, can we isolate and call without a report? We already got the report out the door. Analyst says, look, sorry, I should have clarified that CMD execution was prior to the report and the original isolation. But then analyst realizes, oh, goodness gracious. He takes a look at the browser history. So whether you're using Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Google Chrome, whatever, he takes a look at the archive, the catalog of the places that have been visited on that computer via the user's web browser, and you can see jsrcare.help, title support, a strange t.ly short link for a cancellation and refund form, and then it brings it to docs.google.com. Cancellation and refund form. Cancellation refund form. They're there present on that page for quite a while, but then suddenly they go to PNC Financial Services and their personal bank. Other team members are chiming in like, oh my goodness, this is not real. And another individual asks the analyst, is this still going on? And I think our analyst just charges on in like unspoken acknowledgement. Yes, it is still happening. He says, I'm going to repull the browser history right now to see if there's anything else. Other team members start rallying the troops, tagging everyone else. Hey, can we jump on this? Can you get in touch with someone at this company? They have this individual, the user, in the middle of being scammed, and we're unsure. It's not clear yet if they realize what's going on, because they released the machine from host isolation and quarantine pretty quickly, like just minutes after we sent the report. So we are desperately trying to save this victim and stop the active scam, but we aren't sure yet if that user knows it's a scam or not. New team member chimes in, yeah, I'll call. They ran the remediations, but that's likely after they filled out, if they filled out that Google form, right? So we have pretty high confidence the customer was scammed, potentially gave out some private information. We got a ticket altogether, making sure we're tracking the process here. Analysts chiming in, I'm mostly concerned now by the bank account being present in their browser history. And I don't know if you've caught on, but there is like a mini OSINT or open source intelligence investigation going on. We're like running around Skunkworks trying to see, can we get the contact information for this individual? I saw a phone number on one of the associated websites, tried to call it, and I got the front desk, and they said, oh, that person works from home and they're not in the office right now, so try their email. I'm like, all right, thanks, I appreciate it. But don't forget about that Google form. If our victim filled it out, what information have they just voluntarily and willingly given away? Let's see how much of this infrastructure is still online. Is jsrhelp.com still active right now? Cloudflare Connect, and oh, yep, that do be a Screen Connect page. How about that t.ly address? That was 079i underscore. 079i underscore. Will that take... Oh... Cancellation and refund form with the Better Business Bureau A+ accredited business, 30-day money-back guarantee, secure payments to PayPal, asking for just your first name, last name, email address, mailing address, zip code, phone number, mobile, refund amount, what you want to put that in, and the name of your bank. Okay, I'm surprised it didn't just straight up ask you for like routing and account numbers. Either way, not good. Team members are trying to, hey, connect the dots here. They're asking, where did this form come from? Analyst explains, look, this is from the user's browser history. They went there as part of the scam. And they're realizing, wait a second, how did that get there? Email link, whatever. And realistically, the scammer probably told them to go there. Since they're already in the machine via Screen Connect or Quick Assist, they can do whatever you want. And they're joking around. I bet you it might have been a form for, or like an email pretense, or others that are like, haha, hey, you overpaid for a Norton LifeLock or Microsoft, Apple, whatever receipt and invoice that they now fill out for a refund. It's all a ploy, it's all a ruse, it's all a scam. Back to our micro OSINT investigation, though. We're finding folks. We uncover their CISO. They are tagged on our ticket to make sure everyone is aware. We drop another phone number. We think we've got someone, but wait a second, that's for someone else, related and associated, a part of that company. But we're thinking, wait a second, I think I found someone else's mobile number. Eventually, we got it. We got a hold of someone who is then in contact with the other. He's on with the customer, but our team member says, I gotta pass this to someone else. I told him someone else would call and try to take this. We tag another team member, hey, can you own this? Are you up for it? He says, Roger that, I'm on it. I'm realizing that's still not the individual, the person being scammed. So I'm gonna try another number. I'm gonna call this if no one else has, unless you tell me otherwise. But the team tells me, I think we're good. We've got a representative from the partner to speak with that individual, so no need at the moment. Team confirms, we got a hold of them. They're on the phone now. And I'm like, cool, all right, I'm sorry. I really didn't want to just be like trying to intrude and barge in on all this, but please, please, please make sure you run through what just is the save script for someone going through a scam. Number one, get off the phone with the scammer. Get off the phone with that person. Do not talk to them. Do not respond to anything that they send to you, other text messages or communication, emails, etc. Turn off your computer. Leave it unplugged if you have to. Just make sure there is no way they can remote control and get back into your machine. And then when you can, later, uninstall whatever they use to get that access. And needless to say, if you filled out that form, talk to your bank, call your bank, notify fraud department, anything you can do to try and clean up this mess before it gets worse. That is usually a super weird phone call to have, by the way, at least in like the traditional scam baiter sense when you want to save a victim. You're a complete stranger. You're a totally random person calling up another completely total random stranger to tell them, hey, the person that you've been on the phone with, a totally random disparate stranger, is scamming you. You're in an active scam and you are brainwashed. Please, please, please. I know you have no idea who I am, but trust me, we're the good people. Stop talking to them. But when it is someone calling from like your security provider and your cybersecurity solution, maybe that makes it a little bit more understanding. Team member helps chime in, and I'm glad they said it outright. If they filled out that Google form, call the bank as soon as possible, report potential fraud. And then, the team starts to celebrate a little bit. Like, hey, we got a hold of someone. We've got some ground. We maybe made a difference here. Start to high five, cheer it up. And look, if we really did get to save the victim right there in the moment, like that's a good feeling. That is pretty fulfilling and meaningful work. Team member says, okay, they seem to have things under control. The user actually hung up right after the threat actor, scammer, took over their computer. The partners really appreciated our persistence on this one, and we're grateful that we caught it. Good show and great work to the SOC analysts and the team. Heck yeah, that's a win. Now, this is really silly and stupid, but I'm like, hey, can I try to ask permission with stuff that involves other people, Do I have everyone's blessing and your approval to make a video on this? Obviously redacting absolutely everything, but sorry to ask. I think this is a cool story. I think it's neat. I think, look, this is the usual cookie cutter scam that you get to see in scam bait content and material and education and awareness, but in the same vein as what we typically get to do on this channel for cybersecurity, for InfoSec, for endpoint, malware, threat actors, and hackers. Worlds collide, and I thought that was neat to walk through like a team's internal process of the forensic artifact analysis of this as it happens. And then we got other team members wondering like, hey, how did this all come to life? Was it a VoIP system, business phone? How did this phone call happen from the scammer? Analyst is thinking like, oh yeah, could they share the number with us? I wonder where this was. How did this all come to life? And the one who successfully made contact and was able to get the folks on the phone for outreach, they say, hey, the individual, the poor victim, received an email that prompted him to call. It was on his personal email account, and he did it from his work computer when they asked him to go to the website to remove the software that he didn't want to be charged with. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the original email. Looks like a cool iPhone screenshot, email from Enrique Rivera to an undisclosed, probably recipient. Really, the end user, the victim, was BCC'd with no subject there as the subject line, but the invoice stating, hey, dear purchaser, your account has been charged, bold $sign there, $450.80 and will be going to deduct from your account within 24 hours. If you do not recognize this transaction, or want to cancel, please reach our customer help center at the number. Do not call this number. Got some bogus customer ID numbers and invoice numbers here, and taking a look at the product name. Just as we have seen the future and it was written in the prophecy, 360 LifeLock. Oh boy, oh boy. Hey, now you know. Don't fall for scams like this. If I may say though, this situation was really cool because you get to have a little bit more person-to-person interaction and more trust than you would in the usual scam baiter call victim to save them from scam situation. Because again, you're total random strangers in there. This interaction is a little bit different because there is the trusting relationship. So we get to chat and communicate with them and they say, hey, thank you, you saved our bacon here. It's just cool. It's just cool. I love the story. And you know, I wanted the blessing and approval to be able to put this out. Just think it's always the right thing to do to ask. And the team, Huntress, was like, yeah, sure, totally cool, whatever. But making sure they, the individuals affected, were okay with this. They did get permission shared to use in any blogs. Tradecraft Tuesday also had permission to John to make a video. Private info redacted, of course. They say, yep, no problem with that at all. And I love watching his videos. Oh, thank you. That's super sweet. And hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a little bit of something. Hope you thought it was a cool, sweet story time. And please do give some love to our sponsors. Link in the video description. AnyDesk is always doing great stuff in the fight of scammers, trying to fight back against scams. I hope you do show them some love. Link below. And please do all those YouTube algorithm things. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.